Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Today we're gonna examine the testimony of the scholars about the Trinity being present in the New Testament. All right, so this is educational purposes, and like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. And inshallah, for all the Arabic viewers, we will add Arabic subtitles for Lugha Arabiya, inshallah. So let's move on. So. Bernhard Luce is a preeminent church historian and professor of church history and historical theology at the University of Hamburg. He says in his book, A Short History of Christian Doctrine, from the first century to the present, Revised Seventh Version. He says here, as far as the New Testament is concerned, one does not find in it an actual doctrine of a Trinity. And Emil Brunner, a Swiss theologian, says, no apostle would have dreamed of thinking that there are three divine persons. This is one of the opinions of scholars. Just give me one second, guys. Just give me 1 second. 1 second. Let's move on. Michael A. Barber says in his book, should Christianity abandon the doctrine of the Trinity? It says here in this book. Page 27 says here, theologians agree that the New Testament also does not contain an explicit doctrine of a Trinity. And now let's look at the new Encyclopedia Britannica states here, neither the word Trinity nor the explicit doctrine of a doctrine appears in the New Testament. The new Encyclopedia Britannica 1985, volume 11, page 928. M.A.C. Cave says in his book, is the Trinity doctrine divinely inspired? The New Testament does not contain the developed doctrine of a Trinity. Patrick Naves, in his book, says, primitive Christianity did not have an explicit doctrine of a Trinity, such as was subsequently elaborated in the creeds. In his book, Divine Truth of Human Tradition. Now let's look at this book, The Paganism in Our Christianity. Jesus Christ never mentioned such a phenomenon nowhere in the New Testament. Does the word Trinity appear? The idea was adopted by the Church 300 years after the death of our Lord, and the conception is entirely pagan. Entirely pagan. Be careful. Entirely pagan. Sorry, guys. I'm kind of happy of all this writing. I'm surprised about all this writing. I'm just sorry. But let's continue. According to this book, an Encyclopedia of Religion and Ethics, it says here, at first, the Christian faith was not Trinitarian. It was not so in the apostolic, sub-apostolic ages, as reflected in the New Testament and other early Christian writings. The New Catholic Encyclopedia, the formulation, one God in three persons, was not subtly established, certainly not fully assimilated into the Christian life and its profession of faith prior to the end of the 4th century. Among the Apostolic Fathers, there had been nothing even remotely approaching such a mentality or perspective. Anyways, the New Catholic Encyclopedia, 1967, says here, the formulation, one God in three persons, was not subtly established, certainly not fully assimilated into the Christian life and as profession of faith prior to the end of the 4th century. The Basic Theology, a popular systematic guide to understanding biblical truth. It says here, even with all the discussion and the delineation, how do I say, that we attempt in relation to the Trinity, we must acknowledge that it is in the final analysis a mystery. In the final analysis, the Trinity is incomprehensible, according to Christian theology. The third edition, The Christian Doctrine of God by Emil Brunner. Certainly, it cannot be denied that not only the word Trinity, but even the explicit idea of a Trinity is absent from the apostolic witness to the faith. Unitarian principles confirmed by the Trinitarian testimonies. Says here, we believe that the doctrine of a triune God, because we have received by tradition, though not mentioned in the scriptures, the oneness of God and the doctrine of the Trinity by Kuan Burla. Says here, no responsible NT scholar would claim that the doctrine of the Trinity was taught by Jesus or preached by the earliest Christians or consistently held by any writer of the NT. It was fact slowly worked out of the course of the first few centuries. It says here, in this book, God in Christian Experience, it must be admitted by everyone who has the rudiments of an historical sense that the doctrine of the Trinity formed no part of the original message. In this book, The Church of the First 3 Centuries, the doctrine is not found in any document or relic belonging to the Church of the first 3 centuries. Letters, art, usage, theology, worship, creed, hymn, chant, doxology, ascription, commemorative rite, and festive observances are, as regards this doctrine, an absolute blank. The Trinitarian theologian Augustine says here, well, which of us understands the mighty Trinity, and yet which speaks not of it, if indeed be it? Rare is that soul which, while it speaks of it, knows what it speaks of. Alright, we're gonna stop it here. I hope y'all enjoy watching the video. Please like, subscribe, share to your friends. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.